We've got a couple pull-off tractors. Now, folks, do you think those pull-off tractors are big enough? Yeah, I think so. And talking with these guys, they have a collection of 20 series tractors. They don't have all kinds of John Deeres. They just have 20 series. So any of you John Deere fans, get to look at all the 20 series tractors. They got a fair pile of tractors if they just got the 20 series Deeres.
Logan, come on, buddy. Work with me.
Once in a while. So the turbo up and the gray area will be driven by the same young man, which is all led right now. Now the turbo up right now sets number 6 in the points. Picked him up a couple thirds, laid back a little bit in Sac City. So this young man saying, hey, I kind of want to make up for some lost distance. First tractor out, class of 11, and they use turbos bigger than the last class that we've seen. So 24.5, 32-inch tire. So here we go. First young man out. He is a young gun with the Outlaws. This is going to be Tommy Platty, the great state of Iowa. On turbos up. Well, he's the first tractor out. He's got that option to elect that hook or reject it. We'll get a distance in here and share that with you.
We're good to go. He's going to take it. We're official. Even without a distance, huh? 306.45.
306 and 4,500s. He has already said, I'm taking it, folks. We are official with 12 9,200-pound super farbs here tonight in Lamar's, Iowa. One thing that I have not pointed out to you folks, that typically these tractors are all diesel. Now, if the tractor came out in a gasoline version, I think they could use gasoline, but the guys pretty much prefer using diesel. These guys use an inline fuel pump. They run a single turbocharger. Now, inside of these tractors, you heard me talk about a Profab and an SCS, and I failed to mention Atlas, the major popular aftermarket transmissions. They are unique that you can take them apart, change the gear ratios to fit the ground speed that fits your horsepower. So in a regular tractor, we used to have to go to a machine shop, have a machine a set of gears, wait for them for 3 months, and hope you did. Right now, Red Rock. These guys are out of the Rock Valley, Iowa area. On board tonight is Barry Haverhals on the Red Rock out of Hayward, just north of Rock Valley. These guys right now set number 3 in the points, took a win out of Sac City the other night, and was your 2000 and 2021 points champ right here, folks, is the next one out. So right now they set number 3. To give you an idea how far back they are, 17 points away from the leader. Still reachable, because anything can happen. These guys got a bunch of hooks left. Someday tractor of Weisenkamp out of Nebraska sets only 4 points out of the lead. So things can happen. So 3 guys own this tractor. So tonight we have Barry Haverhals out of Hayward, Iowa. Where's all the red folks at? Let's rumble that grandstand a little bit.
All right. Excuse me, everybody. Welcome to Outlawed with Ron Stone. I am the most beautiful co-host in all of Truck and Tractor Pulling live podcast, and I'm very humble as well. That's one of my stronger traits. Ron Stone is right above me. We are here tonight with Holganix, a new sponsor of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. Excited to have Terry. Is it Hoenig or Hoenig, or how do we say your name, Terry?
Terry Hoenig.
Hoenig, okay. And Bryan Hansel. He is the owner of Holganix as well. I called it Holganix. So what did I call it at the beginning, Terry, before we went live? So,
Holganix, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So, well, Ron and I talk about this a lot as an announcer. When you butcher people's last names, and especially with you guys being a sponsor, I should be a little more prepared on this. But hey, you get what you pay for, guys. You get what you pay for. So it's very very cold in Wisconsin today. I asked in the chat, let us know where you're watching from tonight, and let us know what the temperature is.
Are we supposed to respond with how cold is it, Jason?
Yep. -6 in Pierce, Nebraska. Farmer Brown says it's 15 degrees. I don't know where Farmer Brown's at, though. It's 15 degrees in St. Libory, Nebraska. So it's all good. It is all good. So, guys, welcome again, Outlawed with Ron Stone. Ron, take over. I'm going to start showing some website and some Facebook stuff as well. It's good to be back, Ron. My daughter
Basketball's done.
had a basketball game tonight. So it's all good.
She did have a basketball game or no?
She did not. She was supposed to, but 3 kids either are sick or have a broken ankle or can't play or whatever, and we don't have enough kids. So
How cold is it?
Bryan, what's the approximate horsepower of a 5.0 Pro Stock with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association?
Well, it really depends on the turbo. Like, I think that's the critical.
We were joking off air a
Thanks,
little
Jason.
bit. Yeah, we were joking a little bit off air. You could ask me about dirt, Bryan, and I'm going to get edumacated tonight, as I like to say.
All right. Well, I'll answer all the dirt questions. I got
You
that.
answer all dirt questions. Good deal.
Well,
19
welcome.
degrees in Garnett, Kansas.
Our buddy
Randy
Jason.
Proctor's watching in Michigan. It's 12 in Michigan. So
Flat 12. What is it in Richland Center, Jason?
right now it's 8 degrees.
8 degrees. I thought you were leading us into that joke when you said it's really cold where I'm at, and we were supposed to say how cold is it, and you didn't catch it. So
Well, we got big sponsors on tonight. I want to impress them, Ron.
we've got big things going. Big things
Or
going.
Jason's just a little slow. We haven't figured out what it is yet.
Whoa! Hey, Bryan. Hey,
You got a fan, Jason.
Where did Bryan go?
Magic.
Bryan got put in the penalty box. Okay, I am the co-host, but I can put you in the penalty box, Hansel.
All right. I got it.
Take 5, man.
Welcome, Terry Hoenig and Bryan Hansel. James Raskus is 7 degrees in Radcliffe, Iowa. You guys are here representing Holganix Midwest, the newest sponsor of the Outlaws. I know a couple weeks ago we put out the press release telling folks about the new partnership, but now we're taking that next step. And this has kind of been planned all along, but we were just kind of waiting for the right time to introduce the Holganix Outlaws, Holganix Midwest and Outlaws Midsummer Sweep. Before we get into that, though, I'd like for you guys to tell the folks a little bit about the company, whichever. I know, Bryan, you're the technical guy?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm the technical guy.
Okay, you're the technical guy. Then Terry, I'm going to throw it to you and tell us a little bit about Holganix and what it's all about.
Well, Holganix Midwest is really all about soil health. We're really all about just growing community through growing soil health. If we can build healthy soil, that'll help us build healthy plants, just more drought resistant, bug resistant, disease resistant plants, and improve yield along the way. Just a better way to farm, better way for our farmers.
So, I mean, you said drought resistance. It's better for the soil. I actually read a little bit about the product. It talks about 26 microbes in this mix. Tell us about this.
See, now you're getting technical, and that's when I got to pitch it over to my partner.
It's Bryan. Okay.
I think I love you for baiting us, right? That's the competitor who has 26 bacteria. And I think that's part of the confusion in the market. I think really what we're most proud of is the fact that, the whole space as you sit in this community and farmers are out there, obviously trying to be successful, trying to improve their yields. And there's so much noise around what's the right next move, and microbes are a big conversation. So, if you think about the living part of our soil, right, the microbes, there's a ton of products out there, and the majority of those products are bacteria based. So it's a handful, 6 to 26 kind of bacteria. We have 800 living species of microbes in our product. So we bring the entire biome that is naturally occurring in your soil back to your soil. So that includes 400 species of bacteria, 200 fungi, 70 protozoa, plus beneficial nematodes. So you think about that whole spectrum. We're putting nature's natural living pieces back into your soil. And then from there, again, that just creates what Terry said. A healthier soil creates a healthier plant, creates better outcomes. And so we're really trying to invest in our communities. And if we feel, at the center of every rural community, certainly all the places we go for tractor pulls every weekend, those communities are driven by successful farmers, right? If we have wealth in that community, we have success, we have good yields, we have success, then the corner store is successful, everybody's successful. And I think that's really where Holganix is at in this process, is wanting to make sure that we're supporting the communities that are supporting us. And Outlaw, I think, is one of our best examples of that. You guys have been absolutely amazing early in this relationship in introducing us to your community, and we really hope to pay that back through the impact we can have on your members.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And I mean, the product itself, I mean, it's selling itself, but the partnership we have right now, it's really working really well. But yeah, we're all about saving farmers money, trying to increase their bottom line. I also read a little bit about the product that you can lessen the amount of fertilizer that you would have to use.
So again, if you think about part of the reality of farming, we've got practices that have taken away the life of our soil. So if you think about tillage practices, you think about fungicides, you think about herbicides, pesticides, all those things have knocked back the percentage of life in our soil, and that creates inefficiencies. So there's some studies out there that we share that show about 40% of the fertilizer you put down actually gets to your plant this season. 60% comes from the proper turnover of those nutrients from the bugs in your soil, actually delivering to your plant. If you have a broke down system there, that's not efficient, kind of like a broken turbo, like Jason was talking to me about. Like you just don't get the horsepower. That's the truth in your soil, right? So what we're doing is putting all that back in the soil so you can get super efficient turnover of your nutrients. And so the net of that is, if you have an inefficient delivery system, you got to over fertilize to make up for that gap. We're making it efficient. So yeah, on average, we see most farmers out there, like on corn, putting down a pound of nitrogen per bushel of corn. You really should be putting down closer to 0.65 to 7. So, they're 30% more fertilizer being invested in their fields than they actually need to get to their yields. And that's what our product gives, that efficiency. And so if you can imagine cutting back significantly that kind of percentage on your cost of your inputs and seeing higher yields, that's really what we've been able to deliver.
And it's all a natural product, right? It's all
it's 100% organic. So even for those organic farmers, we're at the Iowa Ag Expo today. We talked to some organic farmers here. So yeah, if you're certified organic, we will work with your certifier. And our product is, again, it's natural living microbes and just the food that it takes to feed them.
Awesome. Now, tell us about the history of Holganix. How long has this product been around?
So the business was founded about 12 years ago. And our first, half a dozen years was in the turf industry. So we were on 600 golf courses. We're on professional sports turf. We were on residential lawn. And that was because that's where the founder and CEO Barrett, really started his business. And I've known Barrett for 20 years. I've been watching this. He introduced it into field studies in about 2015, 2016, and launched the product in row crop in 2019. So this spring is our fifth spring coming into row crops. And it's just been an amazing ride because we've basically doubled our acres every year since we started. And this year, it looks like we're going to go about 4x last year. So things are really starting to happen.
Awesome. Now, what crops, is there any limitations to what crops this product can be used with?
Well, if it grows, it's pretty good. I
asked this question too.
If you've got dirt and roots, right? Like that's pretty important. But if you have those things, but no, really where we spend our time is on, row crops is a big focus. But again, we're on cotton,
Right.
We're on wheat. We're on obviously corn and soy is our two biggest crops. We're in a bunch of specialty crops, right? So we're in berries. We're in vineyards. We're in a lot of different places, but our real big focus and why we partnered with Outlaw is the upper Midwest row crop farmers. Corn, and beans are really where we know we can have a huge impact, and that's where we're spending a lot of focus and time.
Now, the guests I have coming on in the second half of the show, they're cotton farmers from down in South Texas. So that's one reason I asked that question, if there was any limitations to, what crops.
I was down in El Campo, Texas last week talking to some cotton farmers. I went to my first cotton gin last week. But no, we had some significant impacts again on there, just like, any crop, the efficiency at which you can deliver the nutrients to that plant. At the same time, we tend to see 4 to 10 times the root mass. So what that does between the microbes and the roots, we open up the soil. And so we hold moisture better. So again, if you're not getting all the rains you need, we tend to show real drought resistance because we can hold on to that moisture, which a lot of farmers have really wrestled with in the last few years. Hopefully we're going to see an end to that. And it feels like we're hopefully getting some moisture. And but all in all, yeah, we really have performed well from Texas to Canada.
Okay. Now you guys are, I've noticed there's a Holganix and there's a Holganix Midwest. Do you guys have a region or an area that you're dealing with? I know you said this region, this area in particular up here in the Midwest, but how far east and how far west do you guys go?
Yeah. So again, Holganix corporately, again, is the top co. Holganix Midwest, the company that Terry and I are working with, are the ones that are sponsoring Outlaw, and we are centered in Iowa. We put manufacturing. We just opened our manufacturing facility this fall in West Point, Iowa. So all the product from the Midwest is now coming out of that facility. So we are very focused there. We are touching every adjacent state effectively. So you think Minnesota, Nebraska, Illinois, Missouri. We're getting down into Kansas. So we have a nice little circle right in the middle of corn country, but we're based out of West Point, Iowa.
Okay. All right, Terry, you doing all right there?
Doing fine, just listening to the master.
He has a lot to say. He really does.
Sorry, man.
Sorry. Yeah, Bryan,
You can put me in the penalty box, Jason. It's cool.
Bryan, for reading off your cue cards, you're doing pretty good tonight, buddy. I'm impressed.
I'm a fast reader. I got that.
Does he have a teleprompter there? He's totally set up for this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Chuck Hobbs
Hey,
has
Bryan?
a question for you guys.
Yeah, we got one of our pullers watching right now. Chuck's from Illinois. He's a mini rod puller. He's a farmer. He says, is this a pre or post-applied product?
I don't know, Terry, what is it?
Sure. We really like this to be put down as close to planting as possible. 2 weeks before up to 2 weeks after seems to be the sweet spot for the best ROI and the best healthy soil outcome at the end. Whether it's in furrow or over the top spray, really there's no data that shows any significant difference there. So we'd like to be 0.5 gallon per acre of our product with 15 gallons of water over the top sprayed, or 0.5 gallon an acre with 5 gallons of liquid carrier if you're going in furrow. But this is really a product that needs to come in contact with the soil. It's not a foliar-based type product. So we really just want to get watered into the soil, wetted down in there with those microbes. They're live, they're living, they're ready to go to work. When they hit the soil, they burrow down in there and go to work in the dirt.
And I'll just pile on there. You showed a couple pictures you're flashing up there, Jason, of the facility, and that really shows the process. So, it is a fermentation process. That was it there. So we are like brewing beer, right? So we're pumping materials into that. We actually grow those microbes in those two front vats. That's about 7 totes of material per. And so through the course of a day, we time the food source that we put in and the temperature so that we actually grow the different species to the right level of population across the 800. And then once we get done producing it, adjacent to what you're seeing there is a refrigerated storage. So we move it right out of the fermentation process into refrigeration. And that basically suspends the bugs so they stop eating the food in the tote. So we can hold it there for months. So we're actually building right now the spring product. So that sits at 37 degrees. But the good news for the farmer is once we ship it, they've got 6 to 8 weeks to use the product. So we try to get it to them about a week before they expect to start planting. They got a month and a half to get it on the ground without refrigeration. So there's no burden on the farmer, but we're bringing all these to life. We're feeding them, we're putting them in a tote, and we're holding them in suspension effectively in refrigeration until we're ready to ship to the farmer.
And then we do a DNA fingerprint on every batch too, to maintain our quality, to make sure that all of our species are within the levels that we want them to be before those totes are shipped out. So you're getting a good quality, consistent product every time.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions about Holganix, Holganix, the product is what, Bio 800, is that right?
Yep. So
Bio 800 is the product. Anybody has any questions? Yeah, it'd be a good time to go ahead and ask those questions.
Terry, what kind of questions, Terry, are you getting at the Iowa Farm Show? Like, what's the most common question that people come up to you and ask you?
A lot of guys are asking just what was asked there a minute ago by a gentleman about application rates, best time for application. One of the things we really pride ourselves on is the ability to compress, stack, and stabilize these microbes where you can implement them into your current processes. So that's a lot of questions, what can I mix it with? And Bryan can talk a little bit maybe in detail about this, but virtually you can mix with about anything except tank mixing with fungicide. But that's just really the nice thing about our product is it's really robust and can be incorporated into their practices, right, Bryan?
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty is what we want to do is not have you change any of your practices and get the benefit of healthy soils. I think one of the big conversations is out there in ag today is, where are we on no-till? Where are we on cover crops? Obviously, those are great practices, but everybody's talking about how do we regeneratively rebuild our soil? And for a lot of farmers, especially at scale, that's hard to do. Like, to adopt those practices and hope it all works out. There's a lot of learning curve there. What we've found is we give our product to a farmer. He gets it down in one application in the spring, and he sees the difference in his soil that season. He sees a difference in his combine. And so as you go through and you actually experience this product, you find out, wait, my soil is softer. It's more mellow. The tilt of it has changed. It holds moisture better. And then we put our fall product on, which really breaks down the debris on top. And what we're seeing is farmers saying, hey, you know what? I can reduce a tillage pass. Like, I used to have to till in the spring to clean up my field because I had so much corn stove around there. With your breakdown product, I don't need that tillage pass. And so what we see the future of restorative farming being is, let's give you quality soil first. Let's see you feel the benefit of that and realize you don't need to till, versus telling you, hey, stop tilling, right? And over time, your soil will catch up and hopefully you'll see the benefit. We're trying to give the benefit in advance and then ask you to decide not to till when you know it's appropriate. And this is, way to go, Jason, right on cue. This is a picture of Southeast Iowa this fall. So we had a harvest, put down the breakdown in the bottom picture. And that's 3 weeks after harvest. We went over a simple vertical till, and you can already see the dirt contact there. It's coming. That from the farmer's perspective is ready to plant directly into in the fall. So he's going from beans to corn, and he's ready to go. And corns to bean, excuse me. He's going to plant his beans right into that. The top picture that was shown there was again, same thing, harvested at the same time, the adjacent field. He didn't put breakdown on that. Vertical tilled it the same way. And now he's looking at that and said, that's what I've always had to put up with. I'm going to have to till in the spring to be ready to plant into that. So the ability to get your soil behaving in a way and your biology working on your side so that you don't need to till is the way we see people moving to less tillage.
Gerald Ahold has a question, guys. Not sure if you can see these, but he's asking, is it safe to side dress anhydrous after applying this product? Well,
again, I mean, anhydrous is anhydrous. I don't think you'd side dress it on your leg, but I'm joking a little bit. It's going to have a negative impact on biology. Like, let's just be honest. Like, anhydrous is cost effective. It is a very, very popular thing. It is going to knock your biology back. At least what we're saying, it's like, again, I'll give the analogy. Like, if you had a virus tomorrow and you went to the doctor and he gave you an antibiotic, it's going to kill the bad stuff, but it's also going to kill some of the good stuff. So your doctor says, you know what? You need to take this, but then you need to take yogurt or take a probiotic afterwards to get your gut health back in balance. That's really what we're doing, right? So we put this down to jumpstart your biology. Anhydrous is going to have some negative impact there, but at least you've taken a step forward before you put the brakes on, right? So obviously anhydrous is what it is. It is going to kill some biology, but at least by putting our product down, you've given yourself a supercharge of biology to work with. And so you're going to be better off net If you just side dress and haven't added our product, you've just killed, what you already have is probably a weak field of biology. It's getting weaker. At least you've strengthened it before you hit with some anhydrous.
Hey, Bryan, Terry, I'm in sales as well, and I don't know anything about farming. I know as much about farming as Bryan does about turbochargers and cutting tires.
That's very, very little, little, Jason.
Yeah, no, and when you know me, but how do you? It's always hard to get that new customer, Bryan or Terry. I'm gonna ask this to the sales manager. Bryan, you're the owner, right? I know this. Terry, let's say I farm a couple thousand acres, and we're all creatures of habit, right? We're kind of stuck in our own way. It's worked for 20 years. It worked for Grandpa. It worked for Uncle Billy, and it works for Cousin Ron down the street. How do you convince somebody to give you a try? Because it's not a sales pitch. You guys clearly believe in your product. You know it works. You got testimonials. What do you, Terry? What's your if I gave you like a 30-second elevator speech, what would you say?
I think really this is just a product that resonates with the farmers. They know when we start talking about the issues they have, talking about knocking back the biology and asking the question, is your soil as good today as it was when you got it from your dad or your grandpa, or when you bought the farm 20 years ago? Is it as good today as it was then? And overwhelmingly, the answer is no. Of course it's not. And we know it's not. We just really don't know what to do about it without a lot of expense and cover crops and no-till practices and different equipment and time. So this is really something that just hits home with them. It's really something that they know they need. They know there just never has been a good way to do it. And then you put on top of that there is a return on your investment. You're going to start seeing it. You can touch it. You can feel it. You've got a healthier plant. 5 days into this, you pull plants up out of the ground, you're making a difference. And I think that message just really hits home. And at that point, most folks they're willing to give it a shot because they know they've never had an opportunity before.
And I like this a lot because Ron and I announce a little bit, not as much as Ron, but we talk about dirt getting tired as pullers, and we've talked about it year after year. And we talked a lot of promoters like, hey, put some cover crop into your pulling track this winter, get some manure on it, get some organic material, different things like that. Partnering with Outlaws obviously is smart. And I'm not just saying that as a sales guy. I'm legit, because you're a pulling fan is also either a farmer or they're tied to ag. I would bet if we walk through the crowd, 90% of the people are tied to ag, or they work in ag, or they drive a truck for ag, something like that. This should be a really great partnership, and you guys make dirt fun. Most scientists, dirt people, are kind of dorks, and you guys are fun. And I'm excited about this because it's hard to talk about dirt and get excited about it. But Bryan and Terry, you guys have enthusiasm about it, and you believe in your product, and like it's genuine and it's not salesy. So I'm super excited to have you guys partner up with the Outlaws, and then get some testimonials going and stuff like that. Stuff that come on the show like this and share with people. And I can't wait for some Outlaw pullers, to try your product this year if they haven't already, and come on and talk about it. This is going to be a great partnership. I'm super excited.
I got to tell you guys, I've spent a fair amount of time out in your community. We've got invited very graciously into a number of the cities you guys pull. We've hosted some meetings, and the response has been amazing. Like we're walking into some of your best cities and having just an amazing meeting, meeting some really, really good people, and the support and the response. And that's, again, when we talk about the sweep, why we wanted to do that is because we're getting such good support from you guys and from your pullers. And in those communities that are supporting us, we want to give back, and we want to reward those pullers that are obviously putting this show on. But they're also, the response and the amount of commitment we've already got from your Outlaw team as farmers to our product has been really, really appreciated. So,
Chuck's looking for some information to pass along to his boss. Do I send him to Holganix.com? Do you want me to call you, Terry? What's the best way to do this?
They can go to HolganixMidwest.com. They can send us a message on Facebook or send us an email there. I'll be glad to put my email or phone number up on here if that's possible. And
what's your tell me your email?
Yep, it's Hoenig at HolganixMidwest.com. THOENIG
At Holganix.
at HolganixMidwest.com. Be glad to get them some information. Absolutely. I've got a little bit of a motorsports dirt track background, and you're not going to believe this, but I was introduced into the microbe world 20 years ago and used a little bit of early technology, not nearly what we have today, but not to grow a crop, but to put some winter cover on, to fertilize it, to just make better soil. And it does make a difference. So I've seen the change that dirt can go through. I've witnessed a decrease in the amount of water that's needed, and just the dirt just acts different. I wasn't trying to grow a crop back then, but definitely dirt does kind of excite me a little bit. So
Yeah, the product itself, as far as handling the product, obviously there's some products that you would use on a farm that you would have to handle with certain precautions. How safe is the product to handle?
Oh, it's really safe. You can actually drink it, right, Bryan? Tastes good.
I personally have not, but I know our CEO has, and it is 100% organic.
Yep.
It's honestly,
Is that something you would do on the air tonight, Bryan? I'm kidding.
Yeah. So Jason,
Yeah, Ron, I happen to have some in my
Jason,
cup
what's
right
the
here.
Jason, go for it.
There you go.
That's my boy right there.
Jason, does it taste like Tito's? Just
Asking for a friend, right?
So literally, the CEO of Holganix says it's somewhere between it smells kind of like Sam Adams and a sugar donut. Like that's like when you smell it, that's kind of a mixture of those two. Now it is fermenting beer, so it kind of feels like that, and it's got a little sweet smell to it. But the one thing about handling our product is it's super safe. But the other thing that's really interesting is it is living biology, and we're putting food in there. And if you hold on to it past the end date, it all dies within like 24 hours. So it immediately dies. And when you pop that lid, now that smells like swamp, like really bad, right? So what does swamp smell like, and why does it smell so bad? It's dead bugs. That's really what swamp smell is, if we can all think about that. So the beauty of our product is you've got a good batch. And if you don't have one that's dead, it's dead. There's no gray about it.
awesome.
And I think in 3 years that's happened a couple of times maybe, and
Yeah,
we just
it doesn't
replaced the
happen,
product.
But it's very linear.
Yep, for sure.
Pretty obvious whenever that's occurred, though, from what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yeah, you won't mistake that twice.
And this is a great picture you got up there real quick. I mean, it's just one of those examples where we had a farmer in Southeast Iowa. He did all his beans, all of his corn. He's like, I got some left in the sprayer. I got some oats out. I'm just going to go out and just like empty the sprayer. And so this is Terry's neighbor actually, and he sprays half of his field. And Terry's like, well, how do we do? And good old farmer, he's sitting on the road. He's like, well, from the road, I don't see any difference. And Terry, you can finish the story.
Yeah, I just said, John, hop the side by side. Let's go take a look. So we went and pulled some plants out, and you'd have to know John. He's like, well, by golly, I guess there is some difference. He said that he was going to bail this in a car, mow it and bail it here in a couple of days. And obviously the left side's treated with Holganix, this thicker, greener, taller, just a healthier plant all around. And I just told him pull some here and pick them out and pull them, and that's just kind of how it come out. So
Yeah, big difference in the roots too. The root balls
for sure.
Huge. So awesome, guys. Now let's talk about the really fun stuff here that we've got.
Yeah, we've had a great summer last year tractor pulling.
There's more fun than dirt, Ron.
Yeah, right.
What possibly can be more fun than dirt?
Well, we're gonna keep talking about dirt because we're gonna be playing in the dirt all summer, Jason. You know this as well as I do. Here we go. The Holganix Midwest Midsummer Sweep with the Outlaws, July 14th through the 29th. Right now, I think the bottom class might be cut off in that graphic by the.
Hold on, let me turn off my banner.
Clicker going across the bottom there. There you go. Right now, there's 5 classes, but I've been told there's possibly a couple more classes going to be added.
That's the rumor.
There's a rumor that possibly the 2-wheel drive class and maybe another. But right now we've got the heavy Pro Stock 4x4, the 4-1s, the limited Pro Stock, the 540 Light Pros, and the light limited Pros, 8500 light limited Pro Stocks. 5 classes, 16 cities, and $25,000. Holganix Midwest has devoted $5,000 per class in these sweeps. All these classes will not compete in all 16 cities. If you've looked at the Outlaw schedule, you know that many times we're pulling in 2 and 3 different cities in the same night, and that's how it's going to be in 2023 as well. So when you look at all 16 of those pro stock tractors, I believe there's 7. As a matter of fact, I've got the numbers right here. There's 7 hooks for the pro stock tractors. Pro stock 4x4s have 6 in that 2-week span. Limited pro stocks have 7. The 540 light pros have 5, and the light limited pros have the most at 8 hooks from the 14th to the 29th of July. We do have the payout set for this already. Like I said, it's $5,000 per class. Basically, you have to be an Outlaw member running Outlaw points. You can have only missed one event prior to the start of the sweep on the Outlaw schedule for your particular class. We're going to run a point system. It's basically like a short points race with the same tiebreakers. The tiebreaker will be a best average finish if there was a tie. If that was a tie, then we'd go to overall distance. But this is a really cool deal, very cool deal that I've been looking forward to and chomping at the bit to get this information out there, because I know the pullers are going to be as excited about it as I am. So Tammy Morris, Richard Morris's wife, one half of the Buffalo's Chips two-wheel drive, super modified two-wheel drive team, saying, yes, please add a two-wheel drive. I think it might be going to happen, Tammy. So just hang on. I think I know I talked to Todd quite a bit, and Todd's pretty confident that that's going to happen as well. So,
Tammy, get back in the shop and get that truck ready for Louisville.
No kidding. No kidding.
No, and I got to tell you guys, we couldn't be more excited for this sweep, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Todd, as you guys know, has been long time puller, and he's the one advising us and steering this. And he's like, the pullers that are supporting us, we want to make sure they're getting supported. It's a long season, so having some sweet money kind of in the middle and giving people a little extra, we're really excited about showing that support because of the support we're already feeling from Outlaw.
No, it's awesome. This is something we've been asking about for a while as pullers, because it gets to be, it's a long run, and this is a little extra motivation to maybe stay out there and keep chasing it a little bit. So Bryan, Terry, thank you for that as a puller. So,
Absolutely.
And I might have to let my dad drive more so I do better. So that's okay. I'm not afraid.
And, just everywhere we've gone, we've met such great people, and they've just welcomed us with open arms. We're going to grower meetings and seeing some of the pullers again here in the off season. Even here at the show, Bryan, we had a couple of groups come by here today, just talking tractor pulling, sharing videos, whatnot. Just seeing all the people that we met all summer long. We're just really excited about a fun year with Outlaw this year. It's going to be a great time.
Awesome. We're definitely looking forward to it. And I also want to mention one more thing is you guys are actually supporting some of the individual pulls as well. You have a program set up for that. Can you guys explain that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, Terry can maybe expand a little bit, but we call it Go Grow. But effectively, we come into a community and we basically ask the local, whether it's a fair board or whether it's just a specific poll, to say, if you can invite in your local community of farmers, we'll host an event. We've done this at I think a half a dozen different locations already, where they brought together 20 to 30 farmers. We explain our product, and at the end of the night, if we ask if they want to support, we've gotten amazing support. I think we're 100% success on each one of those. But the goal is to get 8,000 acres worth of commitment out of that community. And if so, we give a $10,000 sponsorship. And I think each one that we've hosted, we've been successful in getting over that line and getting that local sponsorship. So in addition to our sponsorship to Outlaw with the sweep and corporately, we're also trying to support those local communities and actually give them that individual sponsorship.
Okay,
And
promoters.
we've got a couple of those groups that are even working on their second round of truckload too. So a truckload's 8,000 acres.
Incredible.
So, they can turn a $10,000 sponsorship for their local event into 20, just by the Rolodex that they unroll to us and the growers that they introduce us to in their community. So that's been a lot of fun.
I know there's a lot of promoters that watch this show religiously. And in addition, I've been dropping you guys' names and some phone numbers to those promoters as well. I work with them a lot in the off season. So that's
Perfect.
awesome. We appreciate what you guys are doing.
It's been great. And also, like I said, the hospitality has been amazing.
It's a give. It's a great give, guys. You're giving back. Hey, hook us up. We'll hook you up. I love it. I mean, it's business. It's smart.
And it's a win-win-win. It's something that's profitable for the farmers as well. You know, they're looking for a way to rebuild their soil. They win. The Outlaw or the Pull or the Fair Board or whatever entity we decide to support and build towards wins. It's just a great deal. And
it is a long-term commitment too. We don't see this as a one-season thing, right? So if you think about what we've experienced as a company over the last 5 years, is 90% of farmers that try our product buy it the next year and add acres. So if we can go into, like we went into Unionville or we go into Rock Valley or any of these and host a meeting and they get 1 or 2 truckloads this year, I think it'll be 3 next year, right? Because you'll see that community learning about the product and growing. That we will follow that, and that's now a $30,000 sponsorship. And so again, you think about the expense to put on a quality show. We're hoping to let them continue to advance that and make the shows even better in every location.
Well, I think a 90% reorder rate speaks for the product.
Yeah.
It speaks to the people using it. That they wouldn't be coming back for more and more acres if it doesn't. And so we're just really glad to be spreading that message.
That's awesome. That is
Awesome, guys.
I have Terry's cell phone plastered across the bottom of the screen. Anybody, if you just want to talk to Terry about either the sponsorship idea they just, they have, with the shows, or if you just want to talk to him about the product, reach out to Terry. And if you're nice, maybe I'll let you talk to Bryan, but that's how it works.
I feel like he's going to put me in the penalty box, but I'm glad you put Terry's cell number up there.
And just for the record, he did not get that off the bathroom wall. Just for the record, I gave that.
Anytime after 10 p.m., just go ahead and before 6.
Oh my goodness,
Terry loves it.
Kurt, hey Bryan, Kurt already texted me and says you can't put the sponsor in the penalty box ever again, Jason.
He does it to me all the time, but if you can't do it for the sponsors.
You guys are too much.
But guys, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for what you're doing for pulling and our pullers and our farmers. Folks, reach out to them, HolganixMidwest.com. It's safe, natural, organic product, and it works. Look them up. Give them a call, and I'm looking forward to this season, guys, and working with you guys. It's going to be an awesome 2023 season.
Guys, and everybody watching, the website's in the chat. The link to the Facebook page is in the chat. Let's everybody head over to the Facebook page, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Let Terry and Bryan know we're appreciative of them hooking us up with sponsorship and the team. So, Bryan, I'm excited. You guys are a lot of fun. Great product. The 90% reorder.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's huge.
That's 5 years, guys. That's been, and I will say we're going to have a trailer at each pull. So you come see the Holganix Midwest trailer. Might have a couple of bush lights over there and some water.
Or Tito's. Throw some Tito's in there too, Bryan.
Put your order in, Jason.
When you were talking about something smelling like swamp, I was gonna say like when him and I drink too much Tito's and we stay up too late and we don't shower until 3 o'clock the next day. So that's what
I had a joke in there too when he said that.
That can happen, What can you do?
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to
coming on.
So
appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Jason.
Bryan,
Thanks, everybody.
Does Todd Bowles really work for you? Like, do you pay him, or do you just like feed him, or how do you keep him around?
I would use the word work very loosely.
Okay, thank you.
Julie works for us, and Todd, we don't know what he does.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Well said.
Good job, guys.
Have a good night.
Hey, we're looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thanks.
Go get those tractors put together. All right.
Yeah, if anybody's going to the Iowa Farm Show next couple of days, go see Terry. Okay, go tell him you saw him on
602. See you guys. Thanks.
Tell him you saw him on Outlawed Live, and he needs to put a hat on next time he's in the show. So. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Ron, we should start using a green screen, don't you think? So
yeah, I was admiring that. Really should.
That was fun. I'm excited about that. I forgot all about that cool program they're doing with the sponsors and stuff like that.
Wow, that's an awesome background, Mac. I'd like to have that as a background in my video.
You can't afford it, Ron.
It's hard to get the video set up there. Can y'all hear us all right?
You sound great.
Yeah, we got you. Yeah. We got you.
All right, that's great.
We're looking at our guys from McAdoo, Texas. We got Cameron Neves there in the middle, longtime modified puller. Runs the cotton candy modified tractor, going to Louisville for How many years will this be in a row now, Cameron?
I'll be the second in a row, Ron.
Second in a row. Of course, we can talk about it in a minute. I want to go ahead and introduce the other guys to you. On your right, you've got Seth Markey, one of the drivers of the two-wheel drive, the high cotton two-wheel drive. And on your left, you've got Cameron Paschall, the other half of that dynamic duo that drives the high cotton two-wheel drive. That machine also going to Louisville here in just a few weeks, guys. You guys excited?
Getting excited and coming up pretty quick.
Cameron, I can't help but notice, but it looks like you need another motor on that tractor back there.
It's sitting on the floor, Ron.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah, it's sitting right behind you. You can see the hat.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Of course, Cameron runs a 7,400-pound modified class. He's limited to 2 Hemis, and the class in Louisville, you're allowed to run 3. What other differences are there, Cameron? Blower, overdrive, and such?
No, you can weigh 7,500 pounds, Ron, and you can run 3 motors with 1471s, 70% overdrive, or you can run 4 with 871s.
So you can run 4 Hemis with 8 smaller supercharger. Okay.
Yes.
You guys got a shout out from your friends in West Point, Iowa there already, people saying hi. So now you guys all went last year, Cameron and Cameron, you guys, or Cameron and Seth, you guys pulled the two-wheel drive there last year as well, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Oh, no, not last year.
Not last year?
No, actually, the engine in the two-wheeler was on the tractor last year. It wasn't even up.
The engine was there. The truck
Ron,
was.
The engine was there.
Kinda, Ron.
Kind of, sort of, in a roundabout way. Yep. So, Cameron, you told me last year I was at the National Farm Machinery Show, and after you ran that night, I talked to you, and you said you missed the setup. You said, I missed the setup. It's all my fault. I missed the setup on the fuel setting, I think. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, you change your fuel setting depending upon the temperature and barometric pressure and altitude. Well, we set that fuel in broadband and we didn't check it again when Freedom Hall, and we just missed it. And we won't make that mistake again.
We'll make it again. So who's going to drive the two-wheeler in competition?
Cameron is.
Cameron is? How do you guys determine that, by the way?
Well, I've driven there twice, so I guess it's his turn.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if you guys had to wrestle or if you flipped a coin or what. So, Cameron, are you
listening here?
No wrestling. We just try to keep it pretty even.
little Cameron? Are you nervous?
No.
You say yeah?
No.
Okay. All right. Not nervous at all, huh?
No.
All right. Well, there's going to be a lot of people there pulling for you. Just keep that hammer down, man, and go after them there. I tell you what, how old are you, Cameron?
22.
22. Man, that's an awesome honor to go there and pull. And I think Cameron could tell you there what an honor that is to go to that pull at that age. I mean, that's going down that tunnel. You're going to feel it. I think Jason could tell you a little bit about that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Ron, we're very excited to be able to get to take both vehicles in the same year. It's a big honor for us, and hope we represent well.
So, what other things are you doing to prepare for Louisville that you don't normally do for a pull during the summer here in the Midwest?
Well, we're putting the 3rd inch on the tractor, of course. Other than that, not anything really. We just check the vehicles over and run them as normal.
So have you had to freshen any engines up or anything since the season ended?
No, we have one freshman that we're putting on the tractor now. The other 3 they've got less than 15 runs on them, so we'll freshen them up probably before summertime.
Okay.
I want to know why guys in Texas have their coats on. Can you please throw that out there for me now?
It's probably like 50 down there or something, Jason. So, you know.
Jason, for your information, today it was a high of 18 degrees.
Woo!
Woo!
Wow, that is cold down there, isn't it?
Yep.
And how
We had to
far?
turn the heater off in the shop so y'all could hear us.
Thank you very much.
How often does it get that cold down there?
In our part of Texas,
Yeah.
I mean, just depends on the winter, like anywhere else, I guess.
Yeah. Last few winters, you guys have had some pretty good cold snaps down there.
I think we have a lot of the same kind of weather as you do in Kansas, Ron.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Did you watch the interview we were doing before, Cameron?
Yes, I did.
About Holganix. Have you talked to those folks?
I visited with Terry at Unionville that day.
There you go. I know that's a pretty awesome program they got going. They're talking about adding some more classes, doing all kinds of exciting things with us this summer. So, and that's where I was going when I asked what crops you could use with that product and all, because I knew you guys were cotton farmers down there. So a little bit of background. I know we've interviewed you guys before, but just for the folks out there watching, maybe it's the first time. Cameron, how long have you been pulling? What got you into pulling? And then we'll talk to the two young guys.
Started going pulling, I guess, when I was 18 months old. My dad started pulling in 1973 or 4. Been going all my life, and then these two guys got involved with us, and it's a great family sport. We all travel together. We have a good time. Couldn't ask for any more fun, really.
And Seth, go ahead and tell us, what when you got hooked, buddy.
I guess it was, I don't know. On my mom's side of the family, they've been pulling 4-wheel drive trucks around. They're from West Point, just like those guys you had on before. They've been pulling 4-wheel drive trucks forever, and so I was around it as a kid even before met Cameron. And then as soon as we moved down here, got to start playing with this big thing. There's no way I'm getting out of it now.
Yeah, that's why we call it getting hooked. It gets in your blood. And Seth, what's your story, buddy? How'd you get hooked? Or not Seth, but little Cameron. Sorry.
Since a little one.
But you were little, yeah. That's when it gets you. That's when it gets you. Same thing for me. Anybody have any questions for Cameron and Seth and little Cameron here? These guys are going to Louisville in less than 3 weeks. You guys are going to be headed down there. I assume you're going to leave probably Monday.
We'll probably leave Sunday, Ron, and go probably drive halfway on Sunday. We usually do.
Gotcha. You guys have rooms down there? You'll be staying in the toter.
We'll stay in the toter.
Gotcha.
Are you bringing your sidekick with you?
Oh, you talking about Will? I don't think Will's coming this time. I don't think Will's coming.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be busy. It's going to be pretty busy this time. I know there's Jason's been talking about there's a big announcement coming up down there, and that's going to be a huge deal.
Cam, did you get signed up for the Pullers Happy Hour on Thursday yet, Cameron?
I did not, Jason. I'll do it tonight.
You better, because it's filling up fast. So I want you
Just sign me up and we'll call it good.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, that goes for all the outlaw pullers out there. Try to get signed up as soon as you can for that Pullers Happy Hour. How do they sign up for that, Jason?
Eventbrite.com. I'll put it in the link right now.
Okay. It's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal for pulling.
It's going to be awesome for pulling. So
When are you doing that, Jason? Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday at 2. Cole Sidetrack has nice headers. What do you have for Cole? There, Cam.
We borrowed a set of headers from Cole.
Okay, fair enough.
You mean his headers will fit on a Vaney motor?
He's got a Vaney motor.
Are we going to see more of the Zycheks this year?
I don't know. He'll have to answer for himself.
Yeah, I'll have to give him a call. I'm hoping we see more of those guys in 2023.
Hold on, you guys. I'll sign up the mod first. Cameron. I'll do like David Hunt said, Cameroon.
He's been calling in for a long time.
Cam, what's your email address?
chneves@hotmail.com.
Cameron, how many folks are you bringing with you
Oh. Guess there's about 6 of us coming from here.
Okay. We talked to a couple of guests that was bringing a pretty big entourage, 15 and 16 people, a couple of limited pro drivers.
We don't have that many.
You don't have that many.
Cam, what size T-shirt do you wear?
Large.
Large. Seth?
2X.
Okay. I'll get little Cameron on the next run here.
Tom Ewing has a question for you, Cameron. When you add the third engine, he said he's assuming you have to run a faster gear.
Yes, we do. We probably speed that gear up about 5 turns.
About 5 turns. Okay. And what nights are you guys pulling on the schedule?
I pull on Wednesday night and Cameron pulls on Thursday night.
Okay, so the tractor pulls on Wednesday, the two-wheeler pulls on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Little Cameron, what's your shirt size, buddy?
Medium.
Okay. Cam, what's George's shirt size?
XL.
Check your email, Neves, okay?
Okay.
Cameron, you'll be signed up for both of them.
You're a good guy.
I have my days.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
I have my days.
So you just went through, that's a little tutorial on how to sign up for that, for the pullers that are going, the outlaw pullers going to Louisville.
There's an announcement coming it's good for everybody, not just the outlaws. It's good for all the pulling. That's going to bring more eyeballs and more sponsor potential than anything ever for the sport of truck and tractor pulling. And the owners of this event are going to roll it out at Louisville. It has nothing to do with Louisville, so don't call Mike Witt. He's sick of the text messages. He's been giving me a lot of
Don't be aggravated with that.
What's that, Cameron?
I said he probably don't want to be aggravated with that, does he?
Nope. We started teasing it a little bit, and we forgot to tell him, and I kind of got my butt chewed a little bit, Cameron. So I'm not gonna. I took it like a man, and we had Mike.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we had Mike on our show last night for Let's Grow Pull, and he's still picking on me about it. He'll call me and say, "Yeah, nobody's called me like in the last 37 seconds to see what's going on at Louisville." And I said, "Hey, I feel terrible for you. I feel terrible for you, Mike."
So Cameron, who do you see as the biggest competition there? Who do you worry about the most in that tractor class?
Oh, there's a lot of tough tractors running there. We just got to concentrate on ourselves and make a good run, and I think we can be competitive.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, we're going to be pulling for you. I know there's going to be a lot of outlaws folks there. We'll be roaming around, and like I tell everybody, if at the end of the night, if you guys need any help with anything, holler at me. I'd be happy to help. Whether you're in Broadbent or in the tote or in the trailer or whatever. I mean, want to see you guys do well down there. How about the two-wheel drives? Who do you see as your biggest competition on Thursday night, the two-wheel drive class?
Honestly, I hadn't looked at the list really.
Jason's pulling it up here right now.
Tom and Richard are very good trucks in that class.
Ashley Corzine.
Ashley's in there. Jesse Petro. I mean, the list speaks for itself.
Yep.
Yeah, the Grand National champion there, Brent Seacrest. Yeah, welcome to the farm show.
Yeah.
The best of the best.
Yeah,
Like I said, we'll go, Rob. We just got to make our own run and how it works.
Florida Pullers checking in there. Thanks for watching.
Jer Setter, I've heard of him.
You've heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
You've heard of his famous juice, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think I made T-shirts about that, actually.
All right, guys. Anybody you want to thank for helping you out this year, or any sponsors that you'd like to thank?
Well, mainly we want to thank my dad. He helps here every day, and he's in the house watching. And we do all this together. It's a family sport. My mother, my sister, all our family for supporting us all these years. Case IH for coming on board and helping the Outlaws, and all the new sponsors, all the potential new sponsors.
Well, we thank you guys for coming on. Wish you the best of luck in Louisville. Man, it's going to be here before you know it. Get kind of excited about it. If you guys need anything when we're down there, don't hesitate to ask. But safe travels and good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for coming on tonight, guys. Appreciate it.
Quite
Awesome.
excited. The Neves are great people. I mean, I love them. They're super nice. The whole family. Been fun to get to know them really well this summer, and they did real well at the Pullers Championship as well with the mod class. So it's been fun to see that and then watch them throughout the season. They came with the 3 motors to the Pullers Championship, so great for that. And then obviously that whole Holganix thing is great. If you're a promoter and you were guys, think about this. Every promoter's dream is to have that show paid for before you even start the show. I mean, you talk to promoters, the most successful promoters. I know it doesn't happen year one unless you pick off a big sponsor. But let's say you have a board meeting, and somebody says, "Man, I'd really love to have the mods, or I'd love to have the pro stocks." And you got the one person over there. Just we just can't. We don't want to take that chance. What if it rains a little bit, or what if the weather's not perfect and we don't get our crowd? You team up with Holganix. And you introduce them some farmers, and they buy a truckload, and they give you $10,000.
$10,000.
And then with Holganix, they're having a 90% return rate for their returning customers. So 9 out of 10 people come back and buy the next year, and they add acres, and you get $10,000 for your pull. You guys, that's awesome, because every community gets hit up with the same sponsors year after year after year, and it almost. And I'm a promoter. I go out and we knock on doors, and it'd be fun to knock on some different doors and try something like this. You know what I mean? This is Ron, that was awesome. And that's a great interview. And that Bryan, wow, the owner and Terry, that was a heck of an interview. Yeah.
Very knowledgeable. And I mean, they're very committed to the farmers. They're very committed to the Outlaws, and like he said, returning the favor and thanking us for what we're doing. But man, the commitment coming out of these guys is unreal. And I have been dropping their names to promoters, because just trying to help the promoters out, hey, I mean, how hard would it be to have a meeting, gather a bunch of farmers together in the local community building or city hall? And I mean, you're not only helping the sport, you're helping your neighbors and friends out, because it's a proven product with the return rate, the success rate, 90%. It's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of these promoters are finding that out. They're doing it. So
and in a year where there's a lot of talk about inflation, and there's some businesses that aren't thriving like they were maybe a year or two during COVID, and there's some businesses that taken off. The sponsorship drives might be a little tougher this year, Ron. And this is a guaranteed $10,000 if you can work together with them and get them sell a truckload of their product. I would think the local farmers would be willing to do that. So and it's not like one farmer has to buy the whole truckload; they can all kind of go in on it together. So that's what's cool about it. So
So huge announcement with the sweep.
Let's
Outlawed Midwest Midsummer Sweep from July 14th to the 29th. 5 classes, 16 cities, $25,000. And from what they're telling me, that there's probably going to be a couple more classes added, most likely, to this. Of course, that total amount of dollars will go up as well, because they're committing $5,000 per class. The class that's hooking the most right now in that time slot there is the light limited pro. They're hooking 8 times. 540 light pros hooking 5 times. Limited pro stocks 7. Pro stock 4x4 6. Pro stocks 7. In those cities you see there on that graphic. So awesome. Midsummer sweep. Pullers get involved. It's going to be a great season. This is really going to draw some pullers out to some of these events. Kind of a points race within a points race, if you will, with this midsummer sweep. And I honestly think, Jason, with Holganix Midwest, I honestly think they're going to probably do something else this summer as well. So,
yeah, it really sounds like if we support them with obviously some business and some growth, and they see it coming from the Outlaws, they're going to be good to the Outlaw pullers as well. So they get it. You can just tell by listening to Terry and Bryan talk. They get it. They know what a puller is. They know that where they're coming from, what's going on, and I'm excited for it, Ron. Really, really excited for it.
Yep.
So
potentially there could be a late summer, just saying, sweep. There could be like an early fall sweep. Just saying.
Yeah, fans, if you haven't heard of sweeps before, Ron said it best. It's a points race inside of a points race. where they're going to pick a particular certain events, and how you do in those is that sweep money. That sweep money will get determined what goes to those particular events. So it's exciting. It has been exciting. So.
Yeah, for this one, we tried to pick the most concentrated time of multiple hooks in a short time frame, and that was kind of that time frame there. There's a lot of hooks in there in that 2 weeks, so that's kind of why we picked that period. So it kicks off in Troy, Missouri, kicks off in Troy, Missouri, ends in Warrensburg, Missouri. But as you can see, we go to Nebraska and Iowa as well in that time. So all Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri.
With the schedule, Ron, obviously you're very tied to it because you do it. What new events have came on this year that you can announce for sure? I mean, I know the tentative schedule's been up, but not everybody sees that.
Yeah, off the top of my head, Scribner, Nebraska, Pierce, Nebraska, Norfolk, Nebraska, Monette, Missouri is one that we're talking to right now. That's going to come on. I've said off the top of my head, but those are the new ones I could think of right now. Sedalia, Missouri, the Dream Factory Pull in Sedalia.
Is that the first hook of the year?
Yep, first week in June. Actually talking to Monette about possibly setting their event on that Friday before Sedalia. Okay. So potentially Monette could be the first one.
I like it.
So yeah, lots of new pulls. Of course, lots of returning pulls. Going to be a busy season, my friend.
Yeah, the Show Me Shootout. They're July 29th. They put a video up on their page. I might know the people who put that video up, so I'll give them a shout out.
Give them a shout out. Yeah.
So it's good there.
That'd be an awesome pull if the weather cooperates. Man, there was so many people there. Last year it was insane.
It was crazy, and it was one of those pulls. We talked about Manila a couple years ago, Ron, where there was literally nothing on the radar. There's a steady mist coming down right here when this tractor pulled, and but that's just how it goes. Sometimes you can barely see it in there. So
yeah, so many good pulls on the schedule this year, guys. So much exciting stuff coming out, stuff that's not even out yet, and we're going to be revealing that news as the year rolls on here, as we get close to the season starting in June. Good evening, says Zuck Fukerberg.
Fukerberg, yeah, it's German.
It's
German, yeah. He's watching from the hinterland.
Oh yeah,
that makes it fun. Ron, this show has turned into something really special. It's exceeded both of our expectations. It legitimately reaches 50,000 people on social media every Tuesday night, and it is it's awesome. And the fans that watch this religiously every Tuesday night, I can't thank you enough. I guess we're just ourselves, and we enjoy it, and the pullers are just great people. And be able to bring on a new sponsor tonight, like Bryan and Terry with Holganix, and I got to talk to them a few minutes, before we went live, and it was fun. I mean, I remember meeting them at the banquet in the Ozarks, and I'm just so glad that you decided to do this. I walked up in that announcer stand in Dubuque a year and a half ago, coming up on 2 years in May. I'm like, Ron, let's start doing a show. You're like, okay. And then we picked Monday nights, because Monday nights was Let's Grow Pulling. And now, I mean, we've walked through the state fair together, and people are like, oh, I watch you guys every Tuesday night. And it's funny to hear people say we sit in our chairs, we put you on our TV, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot. Yeah,
it's crazy. I had people this past season, asked to get their picture taken with me. So they watch the show every Tuesday, and it's like, man, that's awesome.
And then
humbled by it,
So like the social media, honestly, I help with social media. So, I mean, I like to brag about it a little bit, but like last year, the page reached 24 million people, the Outlaw page, right? In January alone, it reached 4 million people this year, just in January. So when you look at what it's doing and the reach, it's because of the fans. It's because of fans, and you're engaging with the content. You're liking it, you're commenting it, you're sharing about it. That's so important, and that's so good for the Outlaws. And when the Outlaws can show that to a sponsor, and they can show the full stands, That's what brings on a Holganix. So if you love pulling and you love the Outlaws, continue to support social media, continue to support the events, reach out to Holganix. If you're a sponsor, and I think some people think it costs, do we want a $100,000 sponsor? Yeah. We don't have a lot of I don't even know what the sponsorship amounts are, but guys, you don't have to spend $100,000. You can come in. I don't know. Ron handles this, him and Dave and Ron, or excuse me, you are Ron. I said your name twice. Kurt and Dave and Ron and the team. Any idea you have, guys? It's not like the Outlaws are untouchable. I think sometimes when you get big, Ron, like the Outlaws are, and they're growing, that I'm not big enough for them. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all.
We have
a promoter as well, or in a state association. Look what you did with Heartland, Ron. I hope nobody's scared to talk to you guys. I doubt that they are, but I just kind of felt like saying this tonight because we're human beings just trying to have a good time and put more eyeballs on the sport of truck and tractor pulling.
Yeah, I will tell you something about us at the Outlaws. I mean, we have sponsorship programs. They start out at the class level. We have class sponsorships, regional sponsorships. They go all the way up to a corporate sponsorship, title sponsorship. But yeah, it's very easy to get involved and be a part of it. And regardless of what it says you're going to get, when you look at that magazine and it tells you what you're going to get, we always try to give you more than what is actually it's called for. If it says the announcer is going to say your name twice in an event, generally I'm going to hit it 3 or 4 times. I'm going to try to do it even more. Anytime there's dead air, that's a great time to, talk about the sponsors. But yeah, it's very easy to get involved. And those stats you were talking about earlier, Jason, I watch those stats, those insights pretty closely too. And then I kind of project moving forward at the rate it's at. But I mean, that rate increases sometimes, and at the rate it's at, we'll be close to 60 million, by the end of 2023. And then looking at Beer Money's page, I mean, your reaches are more than the population of the United States. It's insane. And and that's a true statement. It's a fact. And then
it's fun. It's fun. We've been doing it for 10 years. I'm going to be grateful to Kurt and to you and Dave forever for reaching out to us and asking us to participate. Of the major associations, you guys were the first one to reach out to Beer Money and say, hey, would you help us grow? And I was so happy. I remember jumping in the car and cruising across southern Minnesota, driving as fast as I could to head down to Rock Valley. I went down and met with Kurt and Taylor during COVID, and then Taylor and I stayed out at some little bar in Rock Valley, and we bought all of the little pull-off scratch tickets that night. We had a good time. So I really enjoyed that. And I got to stay at the Van Beek Hotel. So down there from the track.
I've stayed there myself a few times.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. We're showing some video from
Lufkin,
Lufkin.
Texas. Yeah.
Yep. So Chandler and Mackenzie were down there. Ron was announcing. We got some good video, and we're excited. We're heading to Florida this week. Ron, we're leaving tomorrow morning for Zellwood, Florida. Hoping, if you wouldn't have been busy, we were going to take the equipment down and do our first little live stream test. But we'll get that. We'll do something before the Outlaw season starts, so we don't go into Sedalia or what did you say that possible other one was?
Monette, Missouri, potentially
Monette.
Could be the first one. Still working on that, but and making some headway on this semi truck class too. So
okay,
it's working with Brandon, working with a gentleman out of Illinois, and we're getting this thing put together and hoping to get a few hooks, this year, maybe get it added to a couple of events. But liking the direction it's going, we want to do it right and make it sustainable where the class will grow. That's the goal, and to offer promoters another class. I mean, we're bringing the light limited super stocks back. We're bringing the 2.6 diesel pickups back. We brought the 3.0s back last year. We're trying to get the pro farms, booked in some more pulls as well. So we want to give enough variety and more options to the promoters to put some quality equipment in their shows, and not run some of these guys to death. That and push them, 30 plus hooks in a season. So,
yep. If somebody didn't get their banner, Ron, how do we give them their banner from last season? Do you know where those are? Somebody's asking. Tina Berger's asking, have you shipped the banner?
Yep. Some of the banners did not get all the signatures on them from the pullers.
Okay.
So still working on that. We want to make sure that all the winners from that particular pool, that they're on that particular banner. We don't want to send one out that's missing some signatures or autographs rather. And then there was a couple that got signed by a puller from the night before, and we just want to make sure they're accurate we can get all those out there. So we haven't lost your name, haven't lost your address or anything, so you will get them.
Awesome. I just wanted to throw that out there. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm at my home office tonight, but I got my Outlaw banner got shipped to me, so I'm going to hang it up behind me here. So
you get the sponsor banner or?
Yeah. I think I got the Case IH banner, like the ones that people sign. So
Gotcha.
I got a blank, right? You know, I got the not with no signatures on it, but we need to get that hung up a little bit.
Interesting thing here, that pool down there in Texas, in Lufkin, Texas, that pool benefits the Mission 22, and I always forget the name of that, the other organization, but it's 100% charity based. It all goes to these veterans charities. If I can find his information, he did send me the stats on that. But a cool thing, I saw the blower belt come off with a cotton candy tractor. Several of the mod tractors and some of the two-wheelers broke the blower belts and chucked them off on the track. Well, I started going out and auctioning those blower belts off for the charity, and people were giving crazy money for some of these blower belts that were broken to be donated to the charity. But I'm going to find that real quick because I've been wanting to put those numbers on there, show how much they raised at that pool down there in Lufkin. Yeah, the Wyakin Foundation and Mission 22 for that weekend event down there in Lufkin, they raised $30,000 for the Wyakin Foundation and $40,000 for Mission 22. So they raised $70,000 for those two awesome charities down there in Lufkin, Texas, back in October.
The boss is checking in. KVB says, watch for another sponsor coming soon. A new energy drink originated out of the state of Missouri. Another great sponsor for the Outlaws coming soon. So
yeah. Lots of good things coming. Lots of good things happening.
And my very own Chandler Pickler says, and can't forget about all the push-ups in Lufkin. That was awesome when you guys did that.
Yeah. My arms were pretty much jello after that. The second night, especially.
I didn't mean to kill the video there, guys. Sorry. And then for those of you who hang out a little bit, this is one of Chandler's videos from Lufkin. I'll play this with the sound on after the show too, but I know you want to listen to Ron and I's beautiful voice, so it's all good. It's all good. But no, I can't thank you enough for supporting Outlawed with Ron Stone every Tuesday night, you guys. It makes it worthwhile. And just to see that, I love checking the numbers the next day, Ron, just to see. And it's week after week, it reached 50,000 people on social media, and it just makes me smile. Because obviously that's what I love doing, but it's just fun to do. It's just fun to be around everybody, stuff like that. So they're Chandler. I don't give Chandler enough compliments, but David Hunt does. They were down in Lebanon, Missouri, and we got some close-ups of their truck, and they did a really good job with them. Do all that. So Mark Crowley went down there as well too, with Hot Iron, and it's just been fun. Everybody's doing such a good job with their social media, all the polling teams. And Ron and I say it all the time. We don't care if you have 10 followers or 1,000 followers. Post where you're going. Post about your sponsors, because that's how the algorithm feeds all that in. Mention the Outlaws. Hashtag OTTPA. Whatever you got to do to blow it all up. So.
Yeah, it's all interconnected. And it all helps. Every bit of it. So
I'm gonna see you at the farm show. And that's going to be a blast. We're going to go around and if you're an outlaw puller, be ready to be interviewed by Ron and I. We're going to come up and stick a camera in your face.
We are. We'll be gentle though. No rough questions or anything. The guys from Holganix were a little nervous tonight, but I think.
Yeah, they did great. Yeah, they did great. When I put Bryan in the penalty box, I said, "Hey, I'm the boss here with this thing." No, they were. I could tell. I talked to them at the banquet. We all did a little bit, and I could. And if they put up with Todd Bowles, they can put up with you and I. It's going to be okay. So. Yeah,
it's going to be an awesome summer, dude. I'm seriously looking forward to it.
They are good people.
I'm a little hoarse tonight. I don't know if you could hear it, but
no,
Yeah, I was at the Chiefs game Sunday night watching the AFC champion Chiefs take out the Bengals Sunday night. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game.
It was cold. It was cold.
That was a heck of a
Really?
game.
But yeah, it was a good game. Good game.
Yep. Austin Thurby ready for some warm weather in Zellwood. Yeah, he's coming down this weekend. That's going to be fun to see them. They run some two-wheel drive pro stock trucks like Mark Crowley's and Van Beek's and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun to see all those. And it's fun kind of going to different states too, Ron. I'm going to see a lot of pullers I normally don't see in the summer.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Those pulls down there in Florida, they tend to attract a lot of the Northeast guys too. You know, Pennsylvania.
Well, when it's minus 20 at home and you can go down to 80 degrees, it's not real hard to lure you away. So
yeah.
So, well, I'm going to share some video of the Super Farms in Wisner that Chandler put together. I'll put that up on the screen here, and then Ron and I are going to let you guys go. I'll play some videos for a few minutes. Again, thank you for watching every night. Thank you for supporting the Outlaws. And again, no question is a stupid question, or no idea is a stupid idea. Even if you don't want to, maybe just want to sponsor your local outlaw poll, and you don't know how to get a hold of the right people of that local poll, just reach out to us on Facebook and say, hey, we want to help with Lamar's Iowa. I don't know. I'm just making up names. We opened up the show with that tonight. Ron and I we'll get you in touch with the right people. Absolutely. Anything you want to do, nobody's going to say no. Okay, so let's continue to work together and have fun. So, amen. But we should say a prayer, Ron. Kurt always opens with a prayer.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll.
Dear baby Jesus, thank you for turbos and P pumps. So, amen. I want to make sure I turn the sound on, Ron. So awesome. Okay, guys. Super Farms Wisner. Have a good night. See you, buddy.
Tuning in, everybody. Have a good night.
Going to be 321.02 to get past Chad Andrews in the Burley Buck. Last night's winner, Red Rock out of Rock Valley, Iowa. Dave Roosevelt. International fans at today. Rick's going to have it under the hood there. They had a runaway. The tractor would not shut off. Turbo up. Tommy drove home to Hubbard, Iowa last night, stole an injector and an injector line off the broken turbo up tractor, brought it back. They fixed this one just so they could pull here tonight. On the first now, Bryan to make some headway. The Dakota Deer, Alan Andrews out of Beersford, South Dakota. in sight. Did he get it? Had to be 3 Iowa with a blaze of glory. John Deere. John Deere in the lead. Here comes Rick Engelmeyer. McKenzie on their swinging deer went 3:32.